Good afternoon, my friends, and welcome to Monday, March 30th. And it's a sunny day. It's beautiful here in Sellersburg. Feels good outside. It's been a nice break to experience spring. And Monday is still Monday, even when everyone's home, or most of us are home. Many of you are going to work because your job is essential, and we are so appreciative of that. For those who are in the medical field, if you're a nurse, a doctor, if you are the person who sweeps the floor at the hospital to maintain a clean environment, I thank you for the work that you do and the way that you put yourself immediately on the front lines of what's happening, that you put yourself in the room to take care of people that are sick and in need, people that are dying, that you are bringing comfort and presence in your own way to the families of those who can't enter the room and be with them. And you are thinking about your families, that you hope and work hard to not take things home to them. Some of you don't go home very often because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So I thank you. And for those of you who are doing essential work, the many other things that need to be done, I thank you that you continue to do that. And those of you who can't go to work and aren't getting paid to do the things that we still find to be important, but you're not allowed to do it right now. And for that, you are trying to figure out how to pay for groceries and mortgage and rent. You are trying to figure out how to make ends meet and to do the things you need to do. I thank you that you are not giving up, that you are going at it, that you are hopefully reaching out to other people that you know who are in the same situation, and you are supporting and encouraging one another. I thank you that you are tackling each day the best that you know how. And there are many of us who are home, and that's not really been a problem for us financially, but socially it's been draining. It's been hard. This has been a strange day. I've prepared a few different devotions to do and have found all of them inadequate for what I feel needed to be said or should be said or could be said. And, it's a strange, a unique burden, I suppose, as a pastor. I want to have a good thing to say, a hopeful thing to say, a comforting thing to say, to be present with something that helps us to carry on. But I have found as the day has gone on and I have fought to do what I feel like I needed to do, I've kind of realized that I just need to embrace the difficulty. That as I've talked to two colleagues today who have no idea about each other and didn't know I was going through what I was going through in this search for trying to figure out what to be, what to do today, I've realized that maybe it's just time for us to be honest about this time. It's really hard, and it's really awkward, and it's uncomfortable, and it's draining. And we just need a good sigh or a good cry, or we need to go and shout up to the heavens, I suppose, and just release all that's been pent up, because we've been pent up. And it's just bringing all sorts of new awareness and reality to our lives right now. And we don't really know what to do with that. It's abnormal. As a pastor, or those of us who are home, we're trying to figure out what to do. Our lives, our worth, our time is often dictated or valued by what we do, what we produce, what we're able to point to and say, oh, I did that today. I spent this much time doing this. I produce studies, or I go and do visitations, or I'm studying for worshiping and how that's going to go, and planning and working through all the things that we do and planning for the future and addressing things from the past. But yet there's nothing to do except look into this camera on my computer right now. And I can't visit as much as I'd like to. And talking on the phone's been great, but it's not real connection. And I don't know what to do when there's nothing to do. And I realized that it's time to be, and that's what we need to do, is be. And I'm a great human doing. I can find all sorts of things to do to occupy my time, but I struggle to be a good human being. And maybe you understand what I'm talking about there. But in my spinning today and my wrestling back and forth with this reality for what it means for me professionally, what it means for me as a father, as a son, as a brother, what it means for me spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. I've had the same words pop in my head several times, and I've kind of finally come to realize I think God's trying to just speak to me, and I've been finding lots of ways to distract myself. And I'm thankful for my colleagues who have reached out to say that they are in need of help because they're struggling. And it's helped me be able to just sigh and say, yeah, I'm struggling too. And I hear the words again. And the words are ones you're maybe familiar with. Be still and know that I am God. We're really good at kind of hanging on to those last words and know that I am God, and maybe finding encouragement or a new fervor. But the first part, I think, is what we're all being made to do right now, whether we like it or not. Be still. Be still. Not for just a moment, for the day, for the week, for the next couple of months. Be still. And know that I am God. That's what God wants us to realize, I think. Wants me to realize. Maybe you too. I want to read Psalm 46. And there's a word that you'll hear repeated 3 times. It's the word Selah. And one way I've heard it translated I really like is basically chew on that for a second. Yeah? So something's said and then it's Selah. Just chew on that. Just don't go on just yet. Just sit with that. Let that actually speak to you before you just move on to the next part. So that's repeated 3 times. In the middle of this, before the second Selah and before the third Selah at the very end, we have a refrain of this psalm. And the refrain is, the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. And so I'm hopeful that as I read this, you hear the refrain and we have these moments where we can Selah together. So I'll read now from the New Revised Standard. Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble with its tumult. Selah. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of the city. It shall not be moved. God will help it when the morning dawns. The nations are in an uproar. The kingdoms totter. God utters the divine voice. The earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Come, behold the works of the Lord. See what desolations the Lord has brought on the earth. The Lord makes wars cease to the end of the earth. The Lord breaks the bow and shatters the spear. The Lord burns the shields with fire. Be still. And know that I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I am exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts, my friends, is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah.